Captain America Civil War non-spoiler review. I just seen Civil War, and just let me start off by saying this movie is phenomenal. It is my favorite superhero movie of all time. Actually, that's a little strong. It's kind of hard to beat the Avengers the first time you see characters from four different movies, four separate movies, and put all together, and just the Avengers, all everybody, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Iron Man, Cap. It was just phenomenal seeing that for the first time. And I expected to get things like what we're getting now in films ever since we've seen that film. So, I mean, I would have to tie it. I'm pretty much say it's like tied with Avengers just because Avengers holds a special place in my heart. But this is just like one of the best superhero movies you will ever see. I recommend everybody go see it. I don't even care if you don't like Marvel. Just see it. Let me just start off by saying, yes, all the hype is real about the action. The action is just terrific. There's things done in here that you didn't think you were going to see in a comic book movie. And it's handled so well. I mean, they have so much to juggle with so many characters. Everybody gets some shine. Everybody. Falcon. If you're worried about Falcon not getting enough shine, don't. He gets a lot. War Machine. If you're a fan of War Machine, like I am, I've been a fan of War Machine since way back in the day, since I was a little kid. I mean, I really like Iron Man, but I really like War Machine because they kind of look like me. And then he could do everything Iron Man could do. He's not as cool as Tony. He's not as smart as Tony and stuff like that, but he had a suit like him, and they had more weapons and stuff. I'm a fan of War Machine. He definitely gets a lot of action in, a lot of good moments. And Don Cheadle, I love Don Cheadle as an actor. Him as Rhodey. Rhodey gets a lot of time. You know, not as War Machine, but just as Rhodey. He gets everybody do. Everybody's involved in everything. The situations they get in, the conversations they have, all that is good. Now let me get to Black Panther. I think most people were excited for the introduction of Black Panther. He's handled right. Chadwick Boseman comes up with an accent, and he's very serious, and they say he acts very regal and noble, and he handles himself well. Yeah, I heard some people say, oh, he didn't have time for those jokes. He cracked a smile or two in that film. There was a moment where there's something happened between his assistant and Black Widow, and he's just smirking like, yeah, But he's fantastic, and when he puts that suit on and he becomes Black Panther, oh, he is serious. And he's got the cat-like movement. He's very much what you would want from a character playing Black Panther. Like when he lands, he takes these huge leaps, and when he lands so silently. You don't even hear it. It's just like a cat would land. You know what I mean? And he just got all these reflexes. And the humor in this, it's done right. There's a lot of humor in here, but it's not too much, and it's not just a little bit here and there to the point where it doesn't feel like Marvel knows what they're doing with their humor. They know what they're doing. They handle it well. They've been using it. That's a formula for them. It makes the film fun. So you get some seriousness, you get a lot of emotion, you get a lot of action, and then you get a lot of fun. Like that's what these movies do. That's why they're doing so good. They know what they're doing. Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character ever since I was a little boy. I mean, it started out Superman, and then Spider-Man just took over for me. It was so many levels. He's a great character just because of the things he goes through, and he's more relatable because he goes through a lot of normal things when he's Peter Parker, and then some stuff that's not so normal, but he's Spider-Man at the same time. He relishes being Spider-Man. And in this film, Peter Parker Tom Holland has the look. Even his hair makes him look like what you would expect Peter Parker to look like, and he's reacting, and I mean, it's just, I think he's going to be a great Peter Parker. Now, I know a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, his voice, it sounds so young. We got to remember, you read comics, you don't really know what these characters sound like. When the X-Men cartoon came out, or Spider-Man animated series and Avengers movies, I mean, you kind of envision those people with those voices. They define them for you. But he's a 15-year-old kid when he gets his powers. And in this movie, he's been Spider-Man for about 6 months. It makes sense that he sounds like a 15-year-old kid. Even if Tom Holland's older than that, he's not much older than 15, so he sounds like what he should sound like. Although he goes by Spider-Man, I think it's appropriate, his voice. You know, when you think about it, if he was 15 years old, he would probably sound like that. And then he's a geek, he's a nerd, it works well. But Tom Holland turned as Peter Parker is fantastic. It is great. Everybody talks about it. I was hoping I would see it too, and I saw it. I was hoping I would. I wasn't going to just be biased and say, oh, the greatest Spider-Man ever, just because I love Spider-Man, I didn't really, I liked it a lot better than Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire was just very good. He was just like in the middle where it was like, he's not bad, he's not great, but he's very good, you know what I mean, or whatever. But Spider-Man, when he's Spider-Man, it is fantastic. He's doing all of Spider-Man's moves. And he would not shut up. He's talking constantly. He's having fun. Then he's worried. There is one moment in the film where he actually is surprised and shocked, and he says something, and it's just like, I feel you, kid. Everybody just start laughing. I mean, you know, he gets surprised. I mean, he could showcase his strength. He's very strong. And he's a fan of all these people that he's around. That airport sequence was fantastic. Everybody was hyping it up. Believe the hype with that too. It was fantastic. I mean, you got so much going on, and you want them to go back to this person, but then you forget, like, oh no, I wasn't done seeing what they were doing, because what they went to next was just fun, so phenomenal. Everybody gets a moment to shine. Everybody does something great, spectacular. Vision, I wish I saw a little bit more Vision, but I think Vision was just more so looking at everything as a whole. Like, I knew it would come to this. You know, he has a loyalty to Tony. I think he follows Tony because he believes he makes the right decisions, and he's very logical. He's an android. You got to remember that. And I'll get back to the airport sequence later, but let's just talk about Vision real quick. He interacts with Wanda a lot in here, Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is coming to terms with accidents and things that happen. This film talks about New York, Sokovia, Washington, D.C., and seen early in this film, people get hurt and people died. There was casualties. They don't shy away from that, man. They tell you people died in all these events, man. And it's kind of stupid of these people not to see, like, oh, well, this was going to happen anyway because the bad guys were doing this stuff. You know what I mean? Like Washington, D.C., they was going to annihilate thousands of people around the world, maybe even millions. And you're worried about the people who died from them trying to stop millions? Whatever. But, I mean, it's very realistic. In a world like this, you're always going to have people that don't see eye to eye. And it was very realistic because if we had superpower people or enhanced people, we would be afraid of them and we would be worried about the damage they cause. But you do get to see in this movie why Tony feels the way he does. And you get to see why Cap does the things he do. Everything is very emotional. It's not just logic with them like, oh, this would be the best thing to do. There's some emotional things there. I mean, Tony messed up a lot in the past with things he done. And he was trying to right those wrongs. And he thinks this is the best way to do it. Cap, you know, he doesn't make the best decisions all the time, but he always does what he thinks is right, which sometimes might be the wrong thing. Just because we think it's right and feel it's right don't mean it's right. And Vision is very much an android, so he's trying to understand just life in general. He's conscious, but at the same time he's very calculated, and he makes calculated decisions, but he's starting to experience emotions. So that's very weird for him. He's very unique. Black Panther, he knows what he wants to get done. He's like, there's a lot of things that need to be done. He was on the registration. Signing the registration is the right thing to do. But then he gets involved in something personal happens, and he's very much running off of emotion. And he wants to fulfill that. But he sees it as, I'm doing a good thing for the world because there's this fugitive I have to catch, which is Bucky, Winter Soldier. That's no secret. And at the same time, I have a personal vendetta. I want to settle with him so I can kill two birds with one stone. He's also thinking of a lot of things that's going on, and he's making up his mind as he go, and he seems to be very smart at what he do. And they said he comes off very regal, and he seems very noble. He pulls it off perfectly. Chadwick Boseman came up with an accent that was good and fits the character, and he sounds like what Black Panther should sound like. You know, I mean, you don't want him sounding like an American guy. He's from Africa, for goodness sakes. But this film is fantastic. I can't say too much without spoiling things. This is a non-spoiler review. If you're a fan of Marvel, go see it. If you're not a fan of Marvel, go see it anyway. You're going to like something about this. There's things in this movie, especially in the airport sequence, that you see that you never thought you would see. And Spider-Man fit right in. I mean, he fit right in. Why wouldn't he? It's superheroes. We see him on comics all the time fitting in with these characters. And if you're a comic book fan, it just feels right. It feels right. I wish Marvel could get a lot of their characters back. I don't know what the hell Fox is doing, but can't Fox see that this means dollar signs if y'all come to some agreement? Imagine an Avengers vs. X-Men movie. Or getting the X-Men involved when Thanos show up. Because a lot of them were there. Wolverine. I mean, come on, man. That's all I got to say for my non-spoiler review right now. This movie is so good. It's like tied with my favorite superhero movie, Avengers, because that holds a special place in my heart. But it is so good. Go see it. I think the writing was good. There's some twist in this that will just leave your jaw dropping. You might see it coming right before it happens, but just the fact that you found out, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, can't believe they did that. The end of the film is very, very dark, and it changes everything. It leaves you wondering what's gonna happen going forth. I mean, I just can't wait for you people to see this. There are two end credit scenes. There's one all the way at the end when the credits is done, and there's one midway through, or mainly at the beginning, I would say. Both of them. Wait for both of them, please. Leave some comments. Like the video if you like the video. Share, subscribe, and come back again because I will be doing a spoiler review. We're gonna really get into that, and I will see you next time.